Shalom, Israel. This is part 2 of The Bible is a True Book. Now, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. I like how it rhymes. Said there is no new thing under the sun. What does that mean? What has been done, it shall be done. What does that mean? That means everything that's happening today already happened, and everything that's happening today will happen again. Okay, the history repeats itself. That's what it corresponds to. The Bible tells you that history repeats itself. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how. Now, this is the book of Psalm chapter 83. This is something that was happening during the time of King David, and it's happening right now. King David is giving a prayer to the Lord, and this same prayer we should be saying today, because it's still happening to us today, to the children of Israel, the blacks and Hispanics. It's still happening to us today. Book of Psalm chapter 83. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. So, King David's praying to the Most High, telling him, do not be peaceful. A lot of people, they pray for peace. They pray for peace on earth, but that's not what God is about. God is about war. What is the opposite of peace? The opposite of peace is war, violence, wrath, indignation, anger, famine, destruction. That's the opposite of peace is. That is what God, that's what King David is praying to the Lord for. Okay? Let's see why he's praying for that. For lo, thine enemies. So he said, for thine enemies. God's enemies. God has enemies. The other nations. Anybody who's not a child of Israel is God's enemies. And it's gonna, I'm not just saying that off the top of my head. Later in this chapter it will tell you that. Okay? For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. So what is a tumult? A tumult is a gathering of people on one consent, on one destination, one plan, okay? And they're angry, okay? And they that hate thee, so the people who hate God have lifted up their head. They are proud. They are proud to hate the Most High. They think that they are on the top because they're taking crafty counsel against us to get to the top. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. So what is crafty counsel? Crafty counsel is when someone stays up all night, thinks about something all day, and just gets with his friends, gets with his homies, and get in this tumult to just devise wicked, evil schemes. That's what crafty counsel is. When you just meditating on wicked, evil schemes, plots, and just destinations. That's all they're trying to do, is just make an evil thing happen against God's people. It says against thy people. Who is thy people? The Israelites. And have consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? Us, the Israelites. We're hidden because we don't know our nationality. They taking crafty counsel against us to remove our nationality from us. We think we're African American. Okay? We don't know our nationality. They took that away from us. What's some crafty counsel? The Willie Lynch letter. Have you heard of that? If you haven't heard of the Willie Lynch letter, might want to Google that. Go. They got a lot of information out there. YouTube. I'm gonna sum it up in a nut. Look, this is what happened. There was a man, a wealthy, wicked, and rich, and intelligent, but wicked slave master in Europe. So he heard about how the slaves was revolting in the Americas and the West Indies. How they were revolting against the slave masters. How the slaves were not listening to the slave masters, and the slave masters could not control the slave. So this is what Willie Lynch did. He made up schemes and plans. He wrote in a letter, sent it to them, and told them that in order to control these slaves, you have to make the black man just give all respect to the white man, but make him hate the black man. Make the blacks hate themselves, but love the white man. Make the blacks hate their woman. Make the woman above the black man. Make the black man weak. Make the black man hate the light skinned black man. Make the nappy headed black man hate the freaking he said fine haired black man. Make them fight each other. Make them just call each other names. Set the dark skinned slave against the light skinned slave. That's what he said in his letter. And it still affects us today. In his letter, he said that these effects will last over 400 years. Because you have to remember, when they brought us to this place, they intended us to be slaves. They never intended us to get freedom in any way. Okay? They never intended us to be anything more than a slave. Only to be a slave. Okay? So, this is the same exact prayer that we should say today. Because it's happening today. Also, white Jesus, Christianity, rap music, reality television. They always put the liquor stores in our community. They bring drugs and guns to our communities. They show these little kids white superheroes. They use eugenics and poor education against our people. That is all crafty counsel. Let's keep reading. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's what they're trying to do. Trying to cut us off from being a nation. Because we was always known as the nation of Israel. But we're not known as the nation of Israel today. We think we Negroes. We think we African Americans. We think we Mexican. We think we all that crap. But we the nation of Israel. That the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So they trying to wipe out the Israelites. They don't want us here. They hate us. When are you guys gonna learn that the other nations hate you so-called blacks and Hispanics? They hate our guts. They're trying to wipe us off the planet. Let's keep reading. For they have consulted together with one consent. Like I said, that's what the tumult is. One consent. They have one destination, one plan. They are confederate against thee. Okay? The tabernacles of Edom. Who is Edom? Edom is a so-called white man. He's the runner. He's the leader in the crafty council. And the Ishmaelites. Who are the Ishmaelites? The Arabs. Okay? Hold on, where I'm at. Oh, yeah. And Moab. Moab is the Chinese. And the Hagarians. That's some Africans. Gabal and Ammon. That's Gabal is the African. Ammon is the Japanese. And Amalek. This is a Jewish man. Okay? That's all the other nations. And the Philistines, which is Africans. With the inhabitants of Tyre, which is Africans.